Welcome to the Invest In podcast. In this episode, we're at the OHI Outdoor Hospitality and Conference Expo. Lots of people all about hospitality and RV parks, and we're going to be interviewing a bunch of RV park owners, campground owners, and people that are vendors for all those people. So it's going to be very interesting. Little bits of interviews here and there. You're going to learn about some great resources that we ourselves are deploying in some of our parks. All right. So Neil, what brought you to the Ohio Conference and Expo Center here?
Exhibition booths, meeting potential new clients, also management groups, just talking about technology, how it's evolved, Wi-Fi, AI cameras, and helping park owners build solutions that are looking for help. They'll come to us with help. I have a site. We just came back from Colorado at the glamping show, and we must have spoken to at least 50 people where they're building parks and they need help. They don't know what they need, and I like being there. It's a lot of energy in there. I get a lot of enjoyment talking to people, helping park owners build their Wi-Fi and security systems and so forth.
Wi-Fi and security. So is that what you do at your booth? You offer Wi-Fi and security solutions?
Yes, we offer full managed solutions, actually. Wi-Fi, security systems. We've also helped with web, but mainly it's our Wi-Fi and security systems.
Okay. So for someone that, knows medium about that, what's involved? I mean, obviously Wi-Fi, distributing, so that we can use all our devices and things. What other things can you offer beyond that?
So managed solution is huge. We've talked to a lot of parks where they would hire a special person just to run around the park in a lot of cases to help them hook up TVs, smart TVs, iPads, and end users get frustrated. And then what they do is they'll leave negative reviews on your Google ratings. And then next thing you know, their bookings go down. And we have a proven track record we've seen where we've come into some of these parks where they didn't have any service, and we've enhanced their level of service. And we've actually seen many parks increase their booking rate by 20 to 30%.
I mean, I believe that. A lot of RV parks I go to are just, terrible service. And it's a bad design. I've seen parks that we go to acquire that have fiber that's coming in, but then it's just one hub. And so nobody can get it. And they're charging for it. And I'm there as a guest, and I cannot even use my device. The first time I've used a hotspot on my phone in ever. And they have fiber coming in, right? So terrible design.
So it's funny you say that. We've talked to hundreds of parks, and that's exact same scenario where it's just bad engineering. There's people that go out there and they think they know this guy that does Wi-Fi. They're just going to throw a couple antennas up from Amazon and we're good to go, right? Wrong. So even though they got fiber, next thing you know, they're only delivering about 50 megs throughout their park. The signal's not reaching throughout the property. The distribution's bad. There's no customer service. They're overwhelmed. There was one property owner that had 12 properties, and he did this exact formula. He knew a guy. So he hooked up all 12 of his properties. And then a year later, he called us and said, help. Because the guy that put the system in disappeared. So there was no customer support. So, he's watching NASCAR at night, and then all these users, hey, my TV's not working. So there's nobody monitoring the system. So you have all these access points that are going down. And you can't really look at an antenna and say, hey, it's online, it's off, right?
Yeah.
You don't know. So some of these parks have 30, 40% outages or 30 to 50% gaps in coverage as well. So we've seen poorly engineered parks where, we've submitted proposals, and we look, and then they asked me the question, well, why should I go with you? That's a great question.
Yeah. Why should someone go with you?
Yeah, so what I do is I say, let's look under the hood. Nothing like buying a 69 Camaro and you got a 4-cylinder under there, right? Well, that's what we've seen hundreds of parks, and the distribution's bad, all kinds of interference, bad switching, bad deployment, bad design, and that ultimately they need help.
Yeah, I mean, and then you get terrible reviews, and then no one wants to go back to that, at least that type of person. And there's so many younger generations now, people that want to work and travel all around, that you were saying that people would more likely go to a place that has great internet, right? So you can advertise that.
Yep. So that's actually a proven stat. About 6 years ago, before COVID, I went to Napa, California, and I was at a seminar there. And the KOA did a multi-year study and interviewed like hundreds of parks. And they said 40 to 45% of your users, that if you had good Wi-Fi, they were going to come to your property. So that's one decision making. Then the second slide came in and said 40 to 45% of your users would extend their stays by 1 to 3 days based on if you had good Wi-Fi.
That's huge.
That's huge.
That's almost huger, right? I mean, that's at first getting people in, but then let's keep them there as long as possible. They're already there. So
yeah, and we seen a park. It's an interesting story. A couple of years ago, it proved that exact formula. The owner came to me and he had a meeting. There was 3 owners of park, a private park, and for the first time they had excessive cash flow. So all the other owners said, why are we getting such big bonuses? Well, I can tell you why. The Wi-Fi worked. We fixed the Wi-Fi, and now people weren't booking from Thursday to Sunday. Now they're booking 7 days a week. So now they were at 100% booking rate as before they were at 67%.
I mean, that's huge because it's sitting there vacant. Otherwise, it costs the same for everyone. Just, rent it out. Keep people there. That's huge. So Wi-Fi clearly is huge, and a managed solution. You've mentioned that you'll just handle everything. So the campground owner doesn't have to know anything about it, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
I mean, that's beautiful. So, all right, now tell me about some of these other fancy things that you have going on, like other technology, because we're building the most technologically advanced RV destination in the world in North Carolina. We've got tons of fun things that are going on. So we want to have all the cool tech, all the cool security. And what else do you have going on?
The exciting thing right now is AI security cameras. It gives you such a level of power that we've never seen before, other than Homeland Security. So imagine getting Homeland Security technology at the consumer level.
Like some of the stuff in the movies.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. For example, somebody comes up and they said they've seen a red SUV. You can go into your web portal, you can type in red SUV, and it'll show you every red SUV. You put your date range in there, and you can go back a year, and it'll show you every red SUV. You pick the timeline, and then you can quickly go to that point in time and hit the video and play. We have many parks that have done this, and they've had incidents occur. And we were quickly able to give them the footage to the authorities, and they didn't have to go through thousands of hours of video footage. Otherwise, in the old days, you'd have to hit fast forward and sit there and look for.
Someone's got to look.
Who's going to do that? The chances of you missing something are huge.
Yeah.
And you can also do facial recognition, which is cool. So if you had, like, to say, a sexual predator on your park, you could upload his picture to the web portal, and it'll give you where he's been, and you can track him throughout your entire property.
Oh my gosh! So whenever you have an incident, whether it's with a vehicle, a person, you've got all your backlog data that you can just go through, and you've got all that you can package right up to the authorities quickly.
That's right. Yeah, we've never had that type of technology before.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So, oh my gosh! And so, what about now that robots are coming out? They're going to be walking around. There's some robots that we have that we're looking to take out the trash. There's some that are making drinks and stuff and all of that.
Yeah.
We thought about like those robot dogs that maybe could be the security dogs walking around.
I can see that.
How realistic or?
I think it's very realistic. It would be, you couple an AI camera with, we can do it with drones now with LiDAR and so forth, but hooking that up to a dog that would walk a perimeter. We have robot vacuums and lawnmowers that mow lawns.
Right.
It tracks your property through GPS, and it's got like 5 to 10 sensors that can sense like objects and so forth. I can see that happening very quickly.
Yeah, that's neat. And that'll change the game, but it's to make things safer.
That's exactly right.
For a better experience that's there. And just like Wi-Fi, if this park has it and this one doesn't, they would rather go to the one that has it. Not only just for the Wi-Fi service and for the safety, but just for the novelty of some of these things, right? To be able to see the dog going around, like, what is that? Oh, that's his new technology, and watch out, don't do anything bad around the dog.
Yeah, that's accurate. I went to a restaurant in Frankenmuth, Michigan, and it was a hot pot Korean barbecue, and a robot actually brings your food out.
Okay.
So there's just multiple trays.
I've seen like an R2D2 type
Yeah,
of
you just
thing.
come out and it's kind of weird because it's got a little cat face on there, but all your food's right there. You just grab it. And so it's happening now already.
Yeah. So it's changing all things. Man, what other things do you see that could happen with technology that you're plugged into? Any other possibilities?
I mean, that's, I don't know anything offhand, but I mean, we have gates that could look at your car and your face and automatically unlock gates, which is kind of cool. So you could
Car or
or gate or an RV
that could open.
Yeah, or like your RV with the facial recognition where you can unlock the door.
Like the thumbprint on the door lock, but now you could have the face. And
I mean, thumbprints are kind of old now, but facial recognition is where it's at.
Yeah.
With AI. So
yeah.
But what's really cool is you can also, I can see them mounting cameras like even inside RVs. We already have this now, and it can actually detect if somebody had a heart attack, if somebody was hit with a car, and it can alert like responder service. So
in an RV?
I mean, it could for safety.
Yeah.
I mean,
it could. I mean, connect all those things together.
And there's some AI that actually has, and we have this. It's got temperature control. It can actually, if somebody has COVID, it could see that you have an elevated temperature, and it could alert, hey, this person's got something going on. So there's I don't think that we've fully tapped into some of the AI camera and facial recognitions.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different things that are coming out. But what are we going to need with all of that? We're going to need strong Wi-Fi internet that's everywhere.
It's all interconnected. That's the basic.
Blanketed everywhere.
That's what I tell everybody. You got to build a great infrastructure because everything's going to be stacking on top of that. We're seeing cable systems all over the country. Like they're cut. Everyone's cutting cable. Like with all those streaming services, why would you need cable?
Yeah.
They're expensive. They're costly. And then one line goes down, the whole park goes down.
Yeah.
Amplifiers go down. So with IPTV, it just makes sense.
Oh yeah, and everyone's streaming on their device wherever they are. Right. So it's like, you imagine like late night, the bandwidth that's going through a park is mind-boggling. Insane. Yeah, and so obviously, like they could plug in their RV to a hard connection, but then you need that going around there as well. What makes you guys stand out versus your competitors? What's your value proposition?
We bring the latest technology in, like for example, right now, Wi-Fi stuff is pretty exciting. A lot of others are selling old technology. Wi-Fi 7 is an amazing product where it can deliver up to 36 gig or more of data throughput. It would be like comparing a 10-speed bicycle to an F-35 jet. That's how much speed, like you got a full gig of internet, but now you have the capacity and access points to actually deliver that. I've never had that before.
Wow. Okay. I mean, all I know is that we need more internet all the time. Like this internet that's here, not good enough. You should get these people as a customer, right? So if anyone wants to get a hold of you, how would they get a hold of you?
Visit us on skywebwifi.com.
skywebwifi.com. We're going to post it in the link below. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. I'm here with Con at the Outdoor Conference and Hospitality Expo. So, Con, what brought you here and what are you excited about?
Well, we've been coming here for a number of years, supporting the OHI group, which used to be Arbic. We basically exhibit our products here. We own the original Jumping Pillow company, which does the original Jumping Pillow of 31 years.
Jumping Pillow sounds fun to me.
Very popular, yes. And most campgrounds, resorts, agritourism farms, schools, municipalities have our products, but we also do a lot of other things, pedal carts and mega slides and portable splash pads and shade and you name it, we have it, playground equipment. So we exhibit here. We've been exhibiting here for a number of years. We're exhibiting not in Louisville, but in different places where they have the show last year. It was in Oklahoma City. We look forward to coming to the show review. It's the first show for us every year, and we attend about 15 to 20 shows over the next few months, which takes us back into the summer season. So,
right on. So you mentioned that there's lots of companies that can provide these types of things in the world. What makes your company different and the products that you offer?
Our lead product is obviously the Jumping Pillow, very popular. I mean, we get 5 to 6 inquiries a day on Jumping Pillows.
Oh, wow.
Yes. through our website. Some of it is, people that go and jump on a jumping pillow somewhere and then they call, hey, we've got a farm or we've got, a property or we've got a campground, we didn't even know you guys existed. So we have.
And then, wait, for context, so a jumping pillow is one of those, like a trampoline pillow that's buried into the ground.
Correct.
Right?
It's a little different to a regular trampoline. It's walk on, walk off on all four sides. So that's quite safe with a sand barrier around it. And what's nice about the jumping pillow, unlike a trampoline, there's no rebounding effect. So when you jump on the pillow, you can have adults and kids jumping on there together and they're not knocking each other over like you would on a trampoline.
No kidding, because I've seen one of those before and I worried it looked like absolute chaos and a
Yes.
safety nightmare, but it doesn't do that.
No. So you go to a trampoline park, you'll see the difference between that and a jumping pillow. So they've got an exceptional safety record. I mean, you have the slips and falls and stuff, but typically speaking, there's been nobody seriously injured on a jumping pillow, that, in my time at least. You can have them outdoor or indoor. We also do indoor for amusement centers and for, different areas, maybe, in the cold northern regions where, like we've got pillows in Alaska, for example, indoors, because it's cold up there. But even outdoors, in the cold, they hold up to the cold. We've done them for ski resorts. We've done them. They run them all year round. I mean, some people. So
that's awesome.
Typically, they'll run them through their season, whether it's a campground or a resort, and then they close it down for the year and put some maintenance on it and protect it. So, but extremely safe, very popular and affordable. I mean, if you look at our JP7, which is a 70 by 30 pillow, which will accommodate about 35 to 40 kids.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That pillow installed runs just under $16,000.
Okay.
You buy a decent playground set today, you're going to pay double that, and the kids are going to have a lot more fun on a pillow than they will on a playground set.
That's true.
So that's kind of a good selling feature. And what's nice is they'll last, depending on how they maintain, they'll last for anywhere from 5 to 10 years, depending on where you're at. If you're in Florida, obviously with the warm sun there, it's going to fade it a little quicker unless they look after it and maintain it, compared to, say, in Minnesota, where the season's shorter and you don't have the UV issues as much as you would in Florida.
Okay.
And then you replace them. So, it's something you can replace.
I imagine it's cheaper to replace it than
yes,
the first time.
It is, absolutely. Because, you've got the infrastructure in the ground and it's easy to replace it. So, and, we have people where, their pillow eventually goes and they're calling us panicking, wanting a replacement because, people are leaving the campground. I mean, it's amazing how popular they are. And people go to campgrounds that have jumping pillows. So.
Interesting. Yeah. That makes a ton of sense. So I imagine you have some patent on that, or
we have a trademark.
Okay.
Yes. We own the trademark. Jumping Pillows is a trademark name.
Okay.
Now, there are a couple of other companies that have copied the product. Some of those people worked for us at one stage or worked for Jumping Pillows and went off and did their own thing. But they don't do things quite the way we do things. Our pillow is certified. We have a certificate of engineering for it. It's installed a certain way. The others don't install that way. And, I can get into a lot more detail about it.
But yeah, it's those SOPs and that quality control that really adds to all the safety and the reliability over time.
Correct.
So yeah, super critical.
And, with the world being so legal today, something happens, they're going to come back to me and they're going to call me and say, well, hey, how are you different to XYZ company? And when I tell them the difference, they'll use that against the customer. And sometimes the customer doesn't know. They're buying a pillow and they're putting it in the ground.
Yeah.
They think it's all the same, but it's not.
Yeah.
So there is a difference between our pillow and other companies that are selling this type of product.
It makes a lot of sense. So that's your main product that people come to you for, your flagship.
Yep.
All your inquiries. You said something like 27,000 you have installed?
The name Jumping Pillows has sold over 27,000 pillows worldwide.
Yeah.
And we have offices in, Australia, UK, in Europe, in New Zealand, in South Africa. I mean, we're all over the place.
Wow. So aside from the jumping pillow, what other things could people end up getting from your company?
Okay, so playgrounds, for example, we sell a lot of playgrounds. Our pricing on playgrounds is roughly half of what you normally pay through another commercial company that sells playgrounds. We sell large mega slides, pedal cars from Germany. The Dino pedal cars are extremely popular.
Neat.
We sell shade structures, portable splash pads. Portable splash pads unique. It's in the freezing conditions and cold areas, you can actually put it away in the wintertime.
Okay.
And it's portable, so you don't have the outlay that you do with a concrete splash pad, for example,
Yeah.
where you're going to spend at least $250,000 to get a concrete splash pad in, compared to, say, starting at around $50,000 for a splash pad
Okay.
of the same size from us.
And what would you install this over?
You can put it on grass, you can put it on concrete. It
Okay.
basically, it's their grids, the piping all runs above ground, under the grids, and then you have a deck on there, and it's contained. The thing is contained in a bladder. So it's really, really cool product, and it's new to the market. You know, it's starting to get some traction now. We've got a few installs, but as time goes, people want to put splash pads in, but they don't want to spend $250,000 for a splash pad.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so-
water brings people there and fun for sure.
Absolutely. And the other thing
Cools
is
you down.
they can put it away in the off season and have to worry about pipes freezing and, things getting messy underground,
Yeah,
So, yeah.
for sure.
Also with the permitting, if you're going to put concrete down, you've got to get certain permits. With our product, your permitting is a lot easier to get done.
We still have to get permitting with it though?
In some cases,
Yeah,
depending
in
on the
some of
city
those.
and where it's located.
Okay.
But typically, because it's above ground and you can move it because it's portable, it falls into a different category.
Wow. I love
Yeah.
all those. So you got really slick solutions for everything. You're basically dealing fun for RV parks.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it.
Shade, we do a lot of shade, affordable shade. Shade has gotten so expensive.
Okay.
And I have a manufacturer. I actually went to school with the guy where we can build shade, provide the shade at half the cost of what people are paying for shade today.
Perfect.
And it's made for the Australian market, which is a big market for shade because the UV, they got the highest rate of UV down there, skin cancer, you name it. And being from Australia, I know that for a fact. So it's got a 10-year guarantee on it. The material, they've built to the specs that we require. It's really nice.
Well, it sounds awesome. So, Con, how can everyone get a hold of you and your products?
Well, they can go to our website, originaljumpingpillows.com, and contact us through the website. My email's on there. Our website email's on there. And basically reach out to us through the website.
Awesome. Go buy some more fun for all your RV parks right here.
Appreciate it.
Well, here we are.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm here with Daryl. He's the only RV wheelator I have ever met, and I probably ever will. But yeah, Daryl, what brought you to OC here, and what are you looking to gain?
Well, I'm in the RV business, and all the RV parks that are progressive, that are ambitious, that want to expand their business and grow their business are here. And I have an opportunity for all of those RV parks to have some mailbox money. And as far as I know, everyone that I know likes mailbox money. Everyone in business loves mailbox money, and I have something for them all.
I like money. Mailbox money is even better. So absolutely. So what do you have for everyone?
Well, I have a poster program for the RV parks, a beautiful 12 by 18 poster that has obviously my business logo, my business name, and my 4 bylines, which are that I can guarantee a private seller of a recreational vehicle up to 50% more cash than a dealer. And I'm prepared to cut the RV park in for a percentage of that gain that I'm making. And all they have to do is hang up the poster. It has a unique QR code on it that is assigned to that RV park, so that when an information page comes in from a wannabe RV seller, I know who has done the work or who's responsible and who will get paid their 10% commission. And to share with you just how big an opportunity this is, a regular, an RV park that isn't a lived-in permanent park kind of deal, one that has transient travel through it, 10,000 unique visitors is not a big number. With 10,000 unique visitors, I won't go into the math for you, but it works out to about $30,000 for that RV park because 10% of those 10,000 will sell. We indicate that we'll just take 10% of them from that 10%. So 1% of their market will bring them $30,000 commission. That's huge.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was a destination location like close to SeaWorld or close to Disneyland or any of those destination locations. Oh my goodness gracious, it would be insane. So that's why I'm here, is to share that information with the RV park owners.
Awesome. So RV park owners, they can have a referral program for someone that can help them sell any visitor's RV that shows up there, sell it to somebody else.
Yes. The RVers are in their RV in the RV park, and they're likely having a discussion at some time whether they're going to keep the RV or they're going to pay insurance this year, or they want it storage, or the children are getting too old. They don't want to travel with mom and dad anymore, or maybe mom and dad are just too old to travel and they want to liquidate. They want to sell that asset, but it's an absolute crime, in my opinion, that they have to give it away at a wholesale price. Why not get a fair retail price for that RV that they've loved, and why not conduct the sale themselves so that they're in charge? And why don't they collect all the money so they can't get hurt? I pay for all the advertising. I qualify the buyer, and I call them up and I say, "Hey, Mr. Smith, I've got a qualified buyer for you." And Mr. Smith, he knows the RV because he's owned it, maybe since new. What a great person to buy it from is the original owner.
Mm-hmm.
And I facilitate all of that with RV Wheelaker. We've modeled our business after the two most successful businesses in North America, real estate and banking.
Perfect. I
Yes.
love that.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, what is it? It's a no-brainer for the RV owner themselves, right? If they're looking, they're just getting extra potential buyers. They could say no,
Yes.
right, on everything. So it's just more buyers. That sounds great. It's a no-brainer for the park. You're helping your patrons out, and you're making some extra money in the process of all of that.
It's a win-3 situation.
Yeah, it's a win-3.
Win-3. The seller, the owner of the RV, who always gets beat, doesn't get beat.
Mm-hmm.
They win. The RV park wins because their responsibility is to put up a poster, and that's the end of their responsibility. If somebody asks them about the poster, what do they need to say? Just scan the QR code. They take care of everything. That's it. How tough is that to remember? Not very tough. All of the employees in the RV park could be capable of discussing that.
Yeah, for sure. So that's easy to implement, and all the information is there. It's just extra money. I mean, it's all done for these people. Why would anyone say no to that?
Well, I have to tell you that I'm always amused. I no longer use the no-brainer situation because it is a no-brainer. But if you say that to somebody that hasn't quite got it to the no-brainer part yet, so I really like to hear from somebody that's listening to me to say, well, this is a no-brainer, because it is. It's absolutely a no-brainer. Everybody wins. There isn't a loser. Well, there could be. I could be a loser because I could pay for all the advertising and then maybe they didn't pay their small commission. And by the way, my commission is either 1/2 or 1/3 of the market standard. Market standard is 10 or 15%. I'm right around the 5% mark.
Oh, geez. I mean, if you're expanding the market for them, it's getting more qualified buyers. It's getting a higher price for the whole thing. So I would have to contest that you're overly making that margin plus anything that's coming to the park itself. And that's, easy answer.
It's easy. It's as simple as filling in an information page. It's as simple as taking some pictures and sending them to us. We build the ad. We send the ad to the RV owner to be proofread. And once they approve it, we broadcast it to about 160 websites, most of the major social media, all the major RV publications, RV Trader, RVT. We utilize Clause. We utilize local Craigslist. I have one of the largest advertising footprints in the country, and it's no cost to the seller.
Yeah.
No cost.
Yeah.
That's
beautiful.
It is. In the case of a custom unit. Now, a custom unit is a Prevo. A custom unit would be an old schoolie bus that somebody's converted. There's no database for that. I only have a database for the manufactured RVs. So how I handle those custom units is I visit at length with the owner and I say, just tell me what your absolute best price is. And they always have what they feel is the best price. I said, I'll try that. And I'm going to add on this small commission of 4,980, whatever, my small commission. And then we advertise it for 30 days. And in those 30 days, 3 of my advertisers will give me the readership of their publication. Now, if I've got 8,000 people that have read the ad in the last 30 days and nobody has called me to buy the RV, it's pretty simple that the price is too high. The market has told us that the price is too high. Yeah. So I call the owner and I say, Mr. Owner, we've had 8,000 people read your ad. Yeah, it's always an odd number, 8,221. Read your ad, but nobody's called me. That's a absolute indication the price is too high. Could you come down in your price? Now, because we're in America, negotiations are a part of our life.
Uh-huh. Sure.
And all of the sellers, every one of them in 14 years has always padded their price. And they pad their price because they're mentally thinking that they're going to have to negotiate when there is no negotiations if you do this right, because I've priced it properly. Mm-hmm. So when it's properly priced, then they know what their net is and they know what my commission is. Well, if all of a sudden they think, oh no, I better sell it to this buyer that RV Wheelator has found me. Oh my goodness, I'll come down $5,000 in my price. Okay, you can, because this is America and this is your RV. But gee whiz, you really don't need to do that unless we've had 10,000 people read the ad and nobody has called us. Yeah. We can get everybody a fair retail price. Tremendous service. One that's beneath. Tell me, does it make any sense that the second largest purchase that we'll ever make in our entire lives, a purchase of a recreational vehicle, and you have no professional support? It doesn't make sense to me.
That's true.
It makes no sense at all. So why not have a professional company that knows what they're doing in reference to pricing, to advertising, to everything that they need to know, take care of this for you?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And by the way, I'd like everybody to know that in 14 years of business, we have one bad review. The RV industry as a whole, it's suggested they have 1,000 bad reviews a day. Seems to me there's a lot of days in 14 years and I have one bad review. I guess that tells everybody that's listening that my business is fair, it's square, and we do everything right. Everything right.
I love that. I mean, come on. You have all the data like a realtor would have. You're putting it on 160 sites plus all these other ones. If I'm looking to sell it myself, I'm not going to take the time, put it on all those sites. So you're doing it for them. So again, you're building that value that's out there. It's a no-brainer. You're solving all of those things. It's really just straightforward. Daryl, you also said that you've got a claim to the RV Wheelator title, right? So
Yes.
No one else can have that.
Yes.
Love that. So how can anyone get a hold of you if they want to list their RV?
RVWheeliker.com.
Just like it sounds.
Just like it sounds. Wheelator. The same mispronunciation of the word realtor. There's no A in the word realtor, but everybody puts an A in it. So I trademark, that means I own it, the word Wheelator. And we have been very happy making all kinds of RV owners across North America, because we're a national company, sell their RVs at a fair price instead of being ripped off.
Love it. Daryl, thank you so much. We're going to put the link to your site below this. And so I'd implore everyone, if you have an RV, check that out, because eventually you're going to want to get rid of it. I really can't think of a better way of getting it to more people and getting the best price for it.
I'm the best. RV Wheelator is the best, bar none. Thank you very much.
All right. So I'm here with Joey. Joey, what brought you to OC this year?
This year I came because I originally came to the event probably 3 years ago when they had it at Kansas City. And that's when I was first starting this development outside of Nashville and needed to get exposed to the industry. And this was probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, nice. Because it's our first one. I mean, we're loving everything that's here.
It's bigger and bigger every year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's super exciting. So I'm excited we're going to be coming back to this all the time. But so you're developing a resort right now for motor coaches, right? So tell me just a little bit about that and like where you're at in that process. But what will it be?
Yep. So this will be a 72-acre resort that sits on about a half-a-mile riverfront. That is a 23-minute drive to downtown Nashville by car, about an hour and a half boat ride. And we'll have 272 lots. These will be deeded lots that owners will actually come in and buy like a luxury HOA. You'll have your main clubhouse that'll have laundry, gym, a little museum to talk about some of the history to the area. You'll have your pool out back, your offices, a small sauna area. We'll have a pool out back. We'll have 8 pickleball courts. We'll have on-site restaurant, 12 cabins, outdoor amphitheater. And then in phase 2, we'll have a secondary clubhouse that comes in within the second half of those lots. So this is a unique spin that's only been done, I don't know, I would put it at about 15 to 20 resorts in the country that are really going after this luxury space right now with your Class A and Super C and above. Because we'll be a Class A and Super C. So,
Okay, cool. So I'm always interested in lots of things with development. So let's start with the finance. Why did you decide to do deeded lots versus renting them out?
So when I first got into like really wanting to do an RV park, I was introduced really quickly into the sales work. I knew that you can go camping on the weekends. I knew that you could rent for a week or a month, and I found a couple places you could do yearly leases. But owning a lot, I'd never heard of. So I wanted to build my own small 5-acre lake life without the lake life cost is the way I looked at it. And had a friend's family overhear the idea, and they were like, "Oh, well, we own a couple RV lots in Las Vegas Motor Coach Resort." And I was like, "What do you mean you own it?" And they were like, "Yeah, we bought our first one for around 200,000, and then the second one was close to 400,000." And there was an HOA of like $500 a month, and I just didn't make sense. I was like, "You're lying." So you Google it and you look at Las Vegas Motor Coach Resort, 40 acres, 5 minutes from the Vegas Strip. Lots at that time were 130,000 to 1.3. You had a clubhouse, you had a pool, but it was a luxury community for a niche group of retirees and business alike. And it was a very, very niche thing in 2020 when COVID kind of came in and rocked everyone's lives.
So you ended up going that route because it's you think, I mean, in my mind, what's coming out, and then let me know your thoughts. In my mind, short-term rental, you've always got to advertise, get more people there. Transient park, get people there. Just to have a long-term park, you got to just be affordable usually, and so it's a race to the bottom, almost with the costs of things. With what you're doing, you can sell it once, get that money, it helps fund the whole project, and then you get the recurring revenue from the HOA. And that has costs.
And the cash flow that you're getting from those members putting their lot back into the rental program. That is cash flow. And as the manager of the resort, you have to go through us to rent your lot. So we're managing that process for the owners. So they're not only having an investment of an asset of real estate, they have a cash flowing asset as well to sustain a lifestyle that many of us don't even know exists.
Yeah, so shop. So there's a split of revenue when you're doing the management with them, because they could probably, well, I guess it depends if you would allow it or not, but they could rent it out themselves.
So the issue with allowing so many I like to say chiefs in the room run the things, is you don't have a system process. And to keep control, and I hate saying control, but to keep something at a high level, there has to be a system and process through this. And if you look at all the top resorts in the country, they're managing it from their standpoint. Like they're taking care of the landscaping. They're taking care of things on this resort to keep it at a high level. And that's what's expected from these fire teams. They don't want to have to come in and do all the work. You have some resorts out there that are doing this sales model. They're just letting investors come in and buy the lots and then they rent it out. You run into who's cutting the grass, who's doing this, who's doing that, that there's no control in terms of chaos.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like that model in general for a bunch of different reasons to help solve things, especially when I'm hearing like around here, like they're saying that there's not as many transient people anymore that are moving around. So how do you manage that risk? And if there's oversaturation in an area, well, push it off and sell it to someone else. Let them hold that risk, and then you just get some of these scraping, some of the benefits from it, and then you just do a revenue sharing model with them. Beautiful. Yeah, push off a risk, keep the revenue coming towards you. Okay, so I dig that. I dig that a lot. So then you're developing right now. Where are you at in the phase of all that?
All right. So when I started all this, I did not think I was going to be where I am today. We closed on the property in May of 2023. And that's when the chaos started. We thought we were going to be breaking ground in the next 6 months, all these different things. And then the Army Corps came out and says, hey, no. So we went through a muscle survey, a bat survey. We had to do an archaeological survey into phase 1 and 2. We had to relook at the impacts to wetlands that we were doing that they were deeming jurisdictional when they shouldn't be. All these different things started to happen, and made it through all of local full approved, state full approved. And the state also has a permit for the Clean Water Act. They're the exact same thing as the Army Corps. We got the state about 6 months ago. So our last permit we're working through right now is the Army Corps. So we're slowly working through that. It's a pay to play model. When you get into that, you got to find people that know people when it comes to the federal government. And not to be bleak, but I've brown nosed so much over the last year trying to meet politicians. It's worked. I mean, everyone sees that I'm genuine and what I'm doing. I'm not here to hurt the environment. We are taking a complete sustainable approach to this. I mean, we're outside. I mentioned earlier when we were just chatting that this is on a half a mile riverfront. Water is just something that has to be protected and valued for the future. And if I come in to put in a concrete jungle, I'm doing no justice to the community or buyers or the environment.
Yeah. So lots of challenges the whole way. What so you're dealing with this Clean Water Act, and it started to get interesting. We're dealing with a similar thing in North Carolina, where it's jurisdictional wetlands is technically what these things are, because we have this man-made overflow pond for the agriculture,
guys, so
right? But so there's that, and then there's a trench that was man-made that was dug to this other area where there's a detention pond, and right now we do our wetland survey, and all of that is deemed wetlands, right? So how do you clear all of that up? And it's the ones that are in the middle of everything. There's new law that came out that we should be able to say that that's not connected anymore, right? But the Army Corps of Engineers.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm shocked that someone's going through something that I've not talked to anyone that has gone through this. And you're going through it in the same space that they have. Wow.
Yeah. So,
you know my pain. That's awesome.
Dude,
sorry to say that.
Yes. And if I had my COO here too, like he's going through it more. He's the one that's communicating with all of those different agencies. And I'm just like, come on, let's get over this. What's the issue? I need you. I need us to connect so that we can band together, because the Army Corps of Engineers they don't care what the new law is. They said, screw that. We don't care. We're going to do this. And it's the same thing. It's a pay to play and get the right people involved to just do what the law already says that people have passed. And so that is one of the things that's holding us up right now, so that we can, because otherwise we have these interior wetlands that we have to design around. Can't have that, right? And so it's such a pain in the butt. So yeah, what else are you dealing with around that? Tell us, like, how are you trying to solve that?
So that just comes from a strategic team and getting involved and asking questions. I've just started calling any and everyone that would listen to me. Then that led to a few different groups that are working on this around the country. And a lot of the things that have come out since that Supreme Court decision that kind of put it helped, but it created more gray area. And there wasn't it allowed the Army Corps to make these ambiguous decisions, not backed on facts. And there are a lot of groups that see it. So Lee Zeldin with the EPA currently is coming out with some new laws, January 1 of this year, of 2026, that from the things that I've heard is going to change the dynamic in the United States when it comes to it. It is going, from their standpoint, is supposed to take the jurisdiction away from the federal government, give it back to the state, or it should be, so that there's not any of these red tapes or just gray areas that they're allowed to come in and call jurisdictional, because you need water flow, you need certain things that are actually aligned with their navigable waters. And January 1, we're supposed to see a complete overhaul of it. So one of the statements that was said to me, it was pretty funny, it was, two things are going to happen when this changes. He goes, one, you're going to see the most development the United States has seen in the last 20 years. Two, you're going to see a lot of people not care about the environment. Because once you give it back to the state, and this is where I don't agree with this change, is not every state cares about the environment the way so most states should. When there's profit that comes into play here, there's politicians in play, you get it. So
They can all be biased and for someone's own personal interest.
From a local standpoint, I encourage everyone to just get involved, pay attention to what politicians are doing, making sure that money's not coming in to play its part. And I got very lucky of opening where we're developing this resort is a small community that cares. And I got chastised for 8 straight months on through a rezoning process where I was pitchforks at the door. Like, it was screaming. Like, the first meeting was 3.5 hours long.
Zoning committee?
Yeah.
Your zoning?
Just for my meeting.
Yeah.
There would be 300 people in that room yelling. And I was like, nope, this isn't going to work. And slowly meeting the community. As a developer, I think people overestimate if you want to get things done, go talk to the people. Get into the keyboard warriors to make sure that they're not just lying, for one, but two, that you're addressing things for fact instead of assumptions or a NIMBY side of it where they say, not in my backyard.
Yeah.
Like, it's there. We had so many people come out, say, we love this idea. Put it somewhere else. And I'm like, see, you're caring about yourself instead of the overall community that we're trying to come in and create here. So I got in front of it. I went and met with everyone that was screaming at me. Got screamed at a lot. But through and through, we got the rezoning. And today we're just fighting the federal government instead of 2 other governments.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah,
those are
it's fun.
battles.
Like, it's people underestimate what fun you can get from just chaos. If you see the end is there. I just have to get through the federal government.
Yeah, it's great, right? But hopefully it gets transferred back to the state here, and it'll be all good.
That's a
Oh my gosh, if I could share for 1 second in your similar pains. So what we're developing, we bought an HOA. Okay. 75 acres on the coast of North Carolina. We bought an HOA. It's the majority controlling plots in an HOA. So now we can vote anything in. We can vote, right? There's only one or two houses that are developed there already. That was from the man that paid the HOA. He's passed on and it's sold both times. Anyway, so we control that HOA, and we've got a couple parcels that are big in the neighboring HOA, but there's covenants that allow us to pull them through to our HOA. Well, the neighboring HOA, from the realtor that sold us the land, heard about what we're looking to do, and they hear RV park, even though we're creating a resort. And we happen to be doing a lot of things for the environment, for the community, for a lot of these things, but there were pitchforks. Terrible, because it doesn't look like this in their mind. No, it looks like
Cousin Eddie's.
Cousin Eddie's. Like beat down Cousin Eddie's. Holy smokes. Like pitchforks. And I'm not going to exactly what happened. We're clearing the land of stuff, and there's people that are spraying adhesive in the heavy equipment from the contractors in the radiator of the heavy equipment to stop that. They're sabotaging our cameras that are there. I've heard that they've sabotaged previous projects that are within this area. So like pitchforks and gumming up and creating like actual, they're doing crimes, right? They're committing crimes on our contractors. So it's making it so interesting that these things are happening, right? But I can feel that the snowball is happening. And they create a Facebook group that is like,
they're against you.
Not this, like not us, not in our backyard.
They invited me to the one they made for us.
Oh, they didn't invite us to anything.
I just sat in the background and just wrote down what everything everybody was saying.
Yeah, well, they had a meeting and, all in person. Our guy showed up to that. They went and they petitioned to the whatever zoning building department, whatever the meeting was of all that. And the meeting is just like, you're not on the agenda. We can't hear you right now. Submit it formally if you want to talk about something, but we don't even have plans that are submitted. So they're just going against hearsay stuff like that, right? So how do I get ahead of that? Well, I hear about their annual meeting that's coming up of their HOA because we own a couple plots that are in there. I show up to that, right? What's on the agenda? Oh, the finances, whatever. Check that box. How are you guys doing? All of that. All right. Next topic, main topic. What's happening at our place, right? And I try and get ahead with the president of all of that, and I'm like, hey, let's get in front of this and make friends with all of that. Let them know I'm here. And gosh, but I had to get in like politician mode to talk about all of that. So I'm like, ChatGPT, help me out. This is everything that's going on. Prepare this for my HOA meeting, right? Give me talking points. Tell me what not to say and what to say. It's
I was the worst on that one. I say what, yeah.
That's the thing. If I didn't have ChatGPT saying, don't bring up the fact that they're spraying adhesive in your stuff, all that's going to do is agitate them more. I'm like, makes sense. Okay. But
I've had to have people say, like, during some of these meetings, I'm open. And I've had friends afterwards, they're like, hey, take this approach next time you talk to them. And you've had to get political in that thing and really, you had to get on their level of where their pain was and what their complaints were. And I had to, with our project, it was, hey, address the complaints, but make sure that who was actually making the decisions knew the honest truth one. Because we had lied. I mean, hey, we were going to bulldoze dead bodies into the river because there's thousands of bodies buried on the land. And I was like, how do you know this? And just making up lies. Like, it was just one thing after another. And we've got some historical landmarks on our property that we're protecting. I'm turning into my history. I love history. Finding out these things on the property, I was like, all right, we can protect these. Turn them into a property. Turn them into a park. Tell a story with all of this.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, no, he's going to destroy everything. I was like, here's the map. I told you I'm protecting it. Still, I'm destroying it. So you're not going to be able to win them all.
No.
You've got to go through some of the chaos when you're working in these smaller communities. Because I saw just more recently a big developer come into this community. He was going to put $200 million into this community and had all the fanciest lawyers, all these things, go put a PR team together to go door to door. And this community was like, no, and just kicked them right out after they put thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars towards this plan. And they've changed tune now and working more with the community. I think it's going to get through. But when they did that, I got to sit down with them and I was like, guys, you've got, this isn't Nashville. You've got to take a different approach with a community that is a ghetto boy network. And they will mess your equipment up real quick, unfortunately. Yeah, it's
Right. I never anticipated a lot of these different things, but in listening to what they're saying, just like yours, it's unfounded.
Yeah.
They don't know what it is.
that's what
they
us
don't
is.
care.
We had to. I realized really quickly when everyone started saying, "Oh, this is going to be a trailer park. This is going to be this. This is going to be a KOA." And I was like, "You guys can't visualize what I'm actually doing here because this isn't common. Going this route in the luxury resort side is not something that you typically see. So putting those renderings together and really I put a single packet to make sure that every commissioner had that packet over what we were actually doing. Hey, if someone comes to you and says we're doing X, no, you know that I'm doing Y. And it cut through a lot of the bull crap that people were just constantly lying about. I was like, hey, here's the full packet of what we're doing, the benefits of it. This is the tax revenue that we're going to be bringing to the community. This is what we're going to be doing over the next 10 to 5 years. All these different things that they finally saw the larger picture, and they were able to give her the noise that they were constantly getting calls for or emails or knocking on people's doors. Like, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So did you end up giving those packets to the commissioners prior to your building permits getting submitted?
so it was just the packets I did gave them just a description. Everything was in, not the actual plans, because I needed them to, my plans are not anything how they started. They completely different. But I had concepts of everything that we kind of wanted and set that in front of them and then gave them a detailed description of our plans so that when someone said, hey, he's over there bulldozing down every tree on the property, you're like, no, we're not. We're protecting these trees. We had a tree survey done to protect some of these things. Like, that's not true, but we put that in the package to let everyone know that X, Y, and Z was happening, because if you don't get ahead of the lies, they're going to fester in these commissioners. And unfortunately, I used to have this, and I still do. I believe if you're going to step up to be a leader in a community and not get paid for it and all this, like you're a special person, but you're still another dude or another woman. You're just a regular person. And so not everyone's, kind of built to be yelled at all the time because they don't ever get any praise in their jobs. It's always negative. So
That's good insight. That's true.
So
It's very
being
pathetic.
in front of that, because their biggest headaches is having to listen to the constituents. And if you can cut down the lies of the bullcrap, you can get ahead of 70%. Because there's 30% still going to get through, and there's some good old boy network and some corruption going on. That's all for another day.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you sent these packets to these people in advance of your building permits just to squash stuff and say, here's
And
conceptually
sit
what
down
we
with
need
any
to do.
one of them that would talk to me.
Yeah.
Any of them. If you were willing to sit down and have a conversation with me, I was going to tell you X to Z what was actually happening.
You hit all the county commissioners?
All the county, since we're in county property, it was they had 13 commissioners, and it was like, whoever is making the decision, you're going to know everything about our project, and you're going to make an informed decision, not an informed decision that you learned from cousin Billy that was down the road from us.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's even the human concept of like, they keep hearing it from someone else and they're not hearing anything from you. So in their mind, like, this is what
may
it
be
is.
true.
This may be true. It's sounding like everyone knows what's going on.
Because they spread a lie on Facebook.
Yeah.
They just carried around. You're just like, that's not what we're doing. And I would see that really early on. Like I had a good mentor that was like, hey, you've got to play you're trying to play in the big boy world. He goes, you've got to play politics when you get into this. And I was so naive to it. Just, I like community. I want to create community. And this project told me that if I want to impact change in my community, I've got to get involved. I don't necessarily have to run for office, but I sit on the tourism board now. I'm an active member of the chamber. I'm actively trying to make our community better as a tourist, because we are right outside Nashville in one of the boomingest economies in the country right now. I mean, our projections for the next 15, 20 years are incredible, but you have this small country, beautiful river town that has been neglected the last 20 years because they were able to protect themselves, but now are running into a situation where tax revenue doesn't meet infrastructure needs. So that goes into a snowball of developers getting more involved and showing the brighter pathway to the future instead of being the big bad developer. We're here to create chaos. And yeah, we're the ones that created this country. We're the ones that stepped up to make this country better. They're not all bad. Are there greedy ones out there? Yes. But I want to get in front of everyone to make sure that they know that I'm not that greedy person. Like, money's cool, whatever, but it's experiences that we're getting from the money that comes through is the key.
Yeah, and you're being a steward to the environment. You're a nodding to the past and everything and honoring that, teaching people about that, right? All wonderful things. Yeah, man. Your story sounds way too similar. So I imagine that there's plenty other people out there that are dealing with this.
I don't know. I've tried to talk to everyone. You're the first person that's going through like almost the exact same thing. So I'm excited to talk way after.
Yeah, no, and we will, right? So just scratching the surface so that anyone else out there that we can just band together.
Yeah, anyone's going through this, I'd love to get a group together. We'll have that.
yeah. If for nothing else,
Developers Anonymous, like
that's right. Oh my gosh, because it does feel it's a different thing. Have to deal with all of this, and I just want to build a community to create a place that's fun.
Like a 4-year-old kid, man. I want him to grow up and be happy where we're going. So
I got a 2-year-old and a 7-month-old, and that's 100% my purpose for all of that. I'm going to be hanging out in your resort.
Heck yeah.
You can come and hang out in ours, and we'll all bop around, and we'll look back, and we'll be like, oh man, remember when we were sitting right here dealing with this stuff? Holy smokes. We will get through this, right? So, all right, if anyone wants to find out about your development or anything, or if they want to, buy one of these lots or anything, pre-order now before prices go up. Like, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so our website is up and active right now. It's lsbmotorcoachresort.com. We're active on social medias from Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. My personal, I put myself out there a lot on social media just to kind of tell people the story and the developer and the builder, all these different entrepreneur, so that other people can kind of connect with that. I'm like, all right, well, he went for it, I can go do it. And that was my mentality when I started. So reach out. I will probably talk too much, but I'll talk about this.
Yeah, no, not too much. It's awesome. Can't wait to see it up and going, man.
Yours as well, man. I'm excited. This is awesome.
Yeah, we'll band together
yeah.
and deal through all of this stuff.
We'll fry together everything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I'm cool with that if you are. So thanks a lot, man. Can't wait to hear. I'm gonna do another one when we're over this hurdle. Definitely when we're there, right?
Yeah.
Definitely when we're there. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.